Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon. I am Blind Prime, and welcome to Blindformers. This is episode 17, Seige Barricade. This is the Seige Barricade mold, as you can see. He is very similar to the Earthrise Smokescreen mold, except that the Earthrise Smokescreen mold is a heavy retool of Seige Barricade right here. And I haven't been able to find any other Transformers that take his mold. I'm sure that there are a couple out there. And if any of my viewers know of them, please leave a comment and the comments about it, because I would really like to know who else shares this guy's mold. Now, he was not very difficult for me to find. I found him at Ross for like $6, but that's because you can find a lot of these guys at Ross these days. Now, let's get to his Seige ports. So he's got one on each of his shoulders, that's 2. And he's got one on each of his forearms, and that's 3 and 4. And then he's got one on each of his hands, that's 6. And on the bottom of his feet, he's got one on each of his heels, so that's 7 and 8. And then he's got one on each of his lower legs, so that's 9 and 10. And then he's got one on his back here, which would make 11. Then, because of his unique gun, his gun has 2 Seige ports on it, which makes that 12 and 13. But I say that's a modified 12 and 13. In addition to that, he also has 2 rectangular Seige ports on either side of his head. And I will show those to you right now. By taking his gun, which is a cool gun because it transforms into 2 guns by splitting apart. You'll notice on those guns there's a rectangular spot that feels very distinctive. You could take that small rectangular spot, then plug it into the small rectangular hole that fits it on either side of Barricade's head, like so. Just boom. Now he's got 2 guns on either side of his head, and Astrotrain's Siege missile pod on his shoulder. He's good to go. Barricade is a cool little guy, but he is a bit difficult to maneuver around because of his transformation and the way it works. The back of his carb mode, or his backpack area where the Seige port is, sticks out really far and makes him kind of top heavy. I wish he had given us some heel extenders or something for his feet, and I'm sure that would have helped out more. So let's stand you up straight as you can stand without falling over, and bring out Bumblebee for comparison here. Now, both of these guys are Deluxes. And as you can see, Bumblebee stands to the top of Bumblebee's head, goes midway up the upper arm, or actually to the bottom of Barricade's shoulder. So Barricade is still a little bit taller than Bumblebee here. So you got your Energon goodies. You're gonna offer one to Barricade. Barricade don't care about your Energon goodies. Let's move them away. Now, let's take a look over here at my handy dandy Lego, always falling off, Lego stud plate, and it is 18 studs tall. No, 19 studs tall at its head. Hey, 19 studs, not bad. Not bad for you, Mr. Barricade. Oh, where's your gun? Right. So, he's got some good height to him. As Deluxes go, he's decently high. He's on the average of everybody else. Here's a Voyager class, a Cyclonus, to compare next to him. And as you can see, Cyclonus will raise his elbow, and boom, Barricade comes up to the bottom of Cyclonus' elbow, because Cyclonus is a big bruiser. All right, I'm going to move you away, Cyclonus. And let's start on the transformation. So first off, you want to unplug his missile pod and his little gun. Make sure you have him off to the side, and ensure that no cats will get to him. Now, we just take the front of his hood to start his transformation and pull it up, just like that. Just a simple hold his waist in one hand and grab the hood with the other and just pull it straight up. Now, after you've pulled up the hood, you will notice inside of this area there is a slanty panel. Now grab that panel and fold it on its hinge all the way till it covers the big hole in the hood that Barricade's head left. After doing that, take the panel that is the lower half of his core, like where your abs would be and stuff. It's just a panel that hangs out on the hood. So after you folded in the long panel to cover up the hole in the hood, take this lower core panel and fold it backwards and inside of the hood. That will hold the panel that covered up the head slot in place so it won't move anymore. After we've done that, we then want to work on the arms. So first off, you want to rotate them because at the moment, the wheels are facing in the wrong direction. They're facing away from the hood. We want them to be parallel to the hood. So we're going to do some quick rotations. It's not going to be difficult. All we have to do is rotate each arm 90 degrees. Now, first off, you want to put them off to the sides like he's trying to do a tightrope walk. Once you've done that, rotate the shoulders so that siege port that we had on top of each of the shoulders is facing forward towards the hood, and the wheels are facing up. Now, once you have done that, rotate on a hinge. Well, not rotate, but just push on the wheel, and a hinge should allow the entire wheel assembly plus arms to go into the hood and leaving the wheels visible only on the sides. This will also have both of your arms sticking out, away from the car, and upwards. We're going to work with those arms in a bit. We don't really need to do much with them right now except to ensure that your siege ports on your wrists of both of those arms are facing towards the hood. Because when these arms fold down, these siege ports need to be facing downwards, away from the vehicle. We'll get to that in a bit, but just a little added touch there. Now, we work on the feet. So flip them all the way around and fold in both of his heels. Just boom and boom. Done and done. Yep. Now, ensure that the feet aren't folded in yet because we need that area to work in. Rotate at the waist his entire leg assembly 180 degrees, and then fold each of the legs up like he's trying to kneel. So you want to grab the knee and fold it into the negative space that makes up his lower leg area, like that behind that smooth panel that has a bit of a curve to it. There's a big old negative zone, and in that big old negative zone, his thighs can fit. You want to do the same with the other side. So fold it at the knee, then fold it upwards and ensure that the thighs go into the negative zone. Once done, then fold both of the feet forwards and make sure that they're lined up really well. And you'll notice that now you have what feels like the back of a car. Go ahead and ensure that this back of the car is all pegged together. There are quite a few little bitty pegs and peg holes around the back area of this car. So you want to make sure you've pushed them all in and it is secure. Once you have done that, it is time for the fun process of moving the head. Now, you will notice the arms and hood are on one hinge, and the backpack seems to be connected to that. And then the backpack is connected to, or the area where the light bar is connected to another bar hinge that's connected to another hinge. And you just have all of the 4 separate hinges right here. So you're going to use these very effectively to fold the light bar down. The light bar is removable, by the way. It is a spare piece, but we can keep it on during transformation and use it as a positioning. So that siege port light bar is going to fold down, and the head at the same time underneath him will fold forwards using all 4 hinges at the same time. You can get the head to fit right between both of the arms. And once that's complete, now it's time to lower your arms. Just lower both of them straight down, no bending at the elbow required. And once that is finished, then ensure that everything is lining up on the top and on the sides, then close each door. Now, remember when I said there were siege ports on each of the lower legs? Well, that is because there is a siege peg on the inside of each of the doors. It's a tiny one, but once you fold the doors down, that siege peg actually meets up with the siege port on the leg, and they will all clamp together quite nicely, and you will have this lovely little police car. Now, we could take our two little gun pieces. Remember earlier when I was talking about the slot in the hood? Well, that slot in the hood hasn't changed. It's still there. So you can take each of these little guns of his and plug them in. Just like so. Each of them will reveal a siege port on the side, which is cool. Then you can take the missile pod from Astrotrain, and plug it right on top of the light bar. Because nothing's scarier than a cop with missiles and all sorts of weapons. So, in his vehicle mode, he is 16 studs long exactly. And for comparison to Cliff Jumper here, Cliff Jumper comes up to almost all the way. The end of the hood, though, is still outstretching Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper, you're so tiny. And for other comparisons, we got... Oh, yeah, here we go. We've got this guy from Devastator. There we go. Oh, yeah. I like my Devastator guys. He goes from wheel to wheel. That's pretty funny. I'd tell you the name, but I think it's Bone Crusher. Oh, I don't want to get him wrong. I gotta look over the Constructicon's names again. We'll just set off all that off to the side. Alright, well, as a car goes, this is pretty cool. And like I said, there's not many vehicles that have taken this particular mold from Siege. Most of them do the sideswipe mold, and I really wish there were a few more like this, because this is a nice, distinctive car, and it's got the cool little car wings. But other than that, guys, I have been Blind Prime, and you have been watching the episode 17 for Seige Barricade, Transformers War for Cybertron. I hope you have enjoyed, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate that. Now, my final thoughts on this guy is that his transformation is a Bumblebee level transformation. No parts forming required, but still, it's pretty simple. Things just kind of fold, and the thing likes to become a car shape again. So once you have done it once, you can notice how to do it multiple times over and over. So not too complicated of a transformation. The way I feel about this guy, I'd have to say, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but neither is it the worst. So I'd say cold Coke with bag of popcorn. Not too bad, something to snack on, not the worst thing in the world, but it's not sustainable. Maybe you want something bigger sometimes. But alright guys, y'all have a great one, and don't forget, like and subscribe and comment. Blind Prime here. Bye bye.